Hello again. This presentation is to prepare you for creating a meeting so that you can hold a meeting and run a meeting. Now, I'm not a fan of meetings. I wish I could live my life without meetings, but meetings serve a very important purpose in getting all of us together and getting us all on the same page and coordinating well. So it's a necessary evil. And one of the main things that people do with Weaver is to help them run their meetings very effectively. And to do that, we need to set up a meeting. We'll be setting up the meeting, we'll be setting the time, we'll be setting up the agenda items on them, we'll assign people to different parts of the meeting, we'll send some email, and then we'll show you how people can attach documents before running the meeting. We'll be using this workspace for creating the meeting. Now hopefully you've set up your workspace. I've got other videos on how to set it up. But this is a workspace. It's got 3 other workspaces for various circles in an organization. Now, the first thing before I create the meeting, I want to take a little look at the roles. Normally, you use the members role here and all the people that you've set in members. In fact, that's the way most circles run it. You set up a workspace for a group of people and you invite that group of people to the meeting. But however, you can also use any other role in the workspace. So I'll be using this members role today. Now, all meetings are listed under the Meetings tab, and here you see all the meetings that have happened before. And quite often what I would do is I would clone a meeting here, and what the clone will get you is it'll get you all the previous agenda items already set up for you. But in this case, I'm going to set up a brand new meeting so that you can see exactly how to do that in case you don't have any meetings to clone. So you click Create New Meeting. There's also a Create button here, either one. It's the same thing, and we put in the name. So I've named this meeting Town Hall 3, and I've given it a description here, and here's where you'd put everything that you want people to know about the meeting ahead of time, special instructions, where the meeting's going to be. If you're going to have it on a Zoom link, you could put the Zoom link here, everything they need to know. Also, you can set the time. So let's just go ahead and set this up for 6 o'clock on the 26th. That'll set it for that time. And let's create the meeting. So Town Hall 3 is here. We access the meeting by entering it like this. You'll start at the settings. This is where the name, the description, you can put a total duration in here if you're expecting it to be a 90-minute meeting. That allows you to communicate that. Now let's take a look at the participants. Since you've set up that role, one thing we can do is just add everybody from members, and we'll do. And you'll see all of the participant members down here. If somebody is definitely going to attend, you can enter a status here for them. Or if you know somebody's going to be out of town, you can say no, out of town. And these can be entered in by the people themselves. So once you put it out there, people can keep you up to date on what the status is. If there's too many people that are not going to be able to make the meeting, you might consider rescheduling it. Now, we did set the start time, but if you wanted to change the start time, you can do so here, editing, and change the start time to maybe some other time. So here's the overview. Now a meeting comes in 4 different states. There's the draft state, which we're in right now, which is for initial setting up of the meeting. We're then going to go into planning state, and planning is everything from now until when you actually hold the meeting. So if you're announcing this meeting in 2 weeks in advance, it'll be in the planning state for 2 weeks. And during that time, people can review the agenda and update it and add materials and things like that. Then we're going to the running state, which I'm not going to demo today. And finally, it'll be marked completed. The most important thing we need to do now is to set up the agenda. So let me do that. First, we may start with an opening round, maybe just to check in and touch base. Second, agenda item might be to take a look at that, to review the minutes from last time if you had one like that. And now maybe there's a new initiative. And in this case, maybe there's a particular person who is going to make this new initiative. Let's create another one, which is fence. Okay, maybe that's something that we're usually working on. And we have, again, I've signed somebody to that. They know that they are going to be up and making the presentation. Maybe there's item that we need to talk about, cell phone plan, and maybe there's somebody else that needs to, or you can put 2 people in here actually. It's always good to close with a closing session. Now on all of these you can set the duration. So I've left them all at the default 10, but maybe for this new initiative we want to have a little more time, so we might set that to 30 minutes. What it's going to do is it'll actually calculate how much time the meeting is going to take up. Right now we don't quite have our full time taken up, but that's fine. If we go back and look at the agenda setting, we'll now see that this is now a nice presentation of the agenda. We don't have the minutes yet, but this is where the minutes will go. Let me go to this last tab here, edit, and this is where you can set all the details on each of the agenda items. Now we've already set up presenters, but another thing, if there's a new initiative, perhaps there's some attachments associated with it. So now we can attach these documents directly to the agenda item. There is an ability to track action items, and as you're going along you may create some action items, or you could attach some existing action items. Let me just do that. I'll remove this one. And so those action items actually get brought into here, and their current status is displayed as part of that. As you are preparing for the meeting, people can come along and indicate that they're ready to present. And so that's an option that you have when running a meeting, is to tell people to mark that when they've got everything on there. They should attach their presentations. If they're going to give a presentation, they should attach that, and so on. What's the next thing we want to do? We want to send some email. So I click the send email button here, and now it automatically brought in all the people that are the participants. It's got the title in here. Maybe you want to edit that. Next week, I could add more people on the sending list. One of the nice things is click save and preview, and you'll actually get a view of what the meeting looks like. Oh, this is too much detail. Let me choose a different layout. I want just the agenda. The agenda only layout is a nice one. So that sort of looks, much more tight and closed in here. Email about the meeting. So let me just go ahead and do that, and I'll send that now. So now I can show you what this will look like to the people. Here you see the email that was sent out. If I click on this, this is what the email would look like to the users. You've got all the links in here. You can get to the agenda, the minutes, the calendar, the start time, things like that. And down here is the whole agenda, as well as an attachment here to put this into their calendar. This user may decide, aha, okay, let me go check the meeting out, and I can go to the start time and get into the meeting here. And this is where, as a user, I may decide that, okay, I can put more of a description on here, like a little bit more full of a description there. We'll save that down there. And then also in here, if I want to attach documents, now I attach documents that were already in the workspace, but it's also quite easy to drag and drop documents. Perhaps I have a new presentation here, I can drop that in there, or maybe a research overview, I can drop that in there. And then now I can put a small description on here, presentation, and then upload that as well. So now those documents are now associated. I can also go to the participants and mark down that yes, certainly will make it, yes. Or maybe maybe put a maybe here. I have a conflict but might make it. So just let people know what's going on. Later when you run the meeting, you'll mark who has attended in this sort of way as well. Okay, that's essentially all there is to setting up for and running a meeting. I have another video that shows you how to run a meeting, so check that out. And also there are some advanced topics on setting up the meetings in some really more powerful ways. I'll have a separate video covering that. So that's what we did. This is the basic creating a meeting quickly and easily.